Welcome to the Vivid Verb podcast. In episode 1, we chat about being passionate and having the courage to grow with CEO Cindy Love Tysinger. Cindy is a purpose-driven entrepreneur and thought leader, founder and board chairwoman of Regenrus, Regenrus Cares, Jasati, and board director of Uganda Generation Hope. Regenrus is a holistic health company and certified B Corp. B corporations are businesses that meet the highest standards of verified social and environmental performance, public transparency, and legal accountability to balance profit and purpose. Cindy began as a woman pioneer in technology starting in 1974. She is known as a visionary leader. Her journey started with working her first 25 years in the Department of Defense, Navy, and Army, followed by 20 years in health and wellness and technology, helping grow a company to over $400 million as the CIO/CTO. A milestone in life and passion for wellness led her to founding Regenrus. Join us and let's chat passion and purpose. Thank you so much, Cindy, for joining us today on the Vivid Verb podcast. I am so excited to chat with you. So let's get to it. Let's dive in. Let's talk about being passionate and having the courage to grow your business. What does that mean to you?
Thanks, Randy. And it's my honor and pleasure to be here with you today on your podcast. I've known you for quite some time, and I'm grateful for our friendship and relationship. And if you know anything about me, passion is probably one of the largest or biggest things that I have in my heart about everything I do, whether it's personal or professional. It's all around making sure what you're doing is passionate. So if it's aligned with your passion, then it's aligned with a purpose. And it's so important because life is too short to do something you don't like to do.
I really feel like what you said, if it's aligned with your passion, it's aligned with your purpose. And I feel like that speaks to me personally. I've been kind of on this journey of like, how can you make your goals, your visions, your ambitions balance with your behavior, balance with your action. And I feel like aligning your passion with your purpose is that. It's allowing you to have the kind of the seeds to level up.
Absolutely. And it's so true when you think about what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to be known for? And so many people have said, I've heard it many times, that if you're in alignment with your passion and your purpose, you'll never work a day in your life. And that is so true because I love what I do and it's not work.
So when we're talking about women business owners, the stats are insane. So less than 2% of women business owners are over that $1 million mark. And I think you just shared with me that only 88% are still under that 100,000. That's insane.
Yes.
So how do you feel like that concept of driving with your passion could help influence those numbers and influence the women business owner community?
I think for me is one of the businesses I have that are currently running and have been for 14 years, Jasati, is a multimillion-dollar business. I'm very proud to have accomplished that quite early on in the business's journey of how long we've been in business. And I knew then how important it was for women to play bigger, make a greater difference, because it's up to us women to truly make a difference in this world and change the trajectory of the way we're going. And so I feel if women can play bigger, as we say, put on your big girl panties and just do whatever it takes because you're in alignment with your passion and your purpose. So whatever you're doing is good for the world. I've always known that with my tech company, I was helping other businesses succeed in delivering whatever product or service that they were doing. So my passion was in seeing and serving their business needs to see them grow and be successful. And my current company in Regenrus, the same way. It's all about aligning the passion and the purpose. We haven't yet reached the 1 million mark in Regenrus, but I believe it's not too far behind. And eventually my plan is it's going to be a $1 billion business. So I'm playing real big, Randy.
We've got to play big.
We've got to play big.
I am for the vision. So while we're on Regenrus, tell us about Regenrus. Tell us about your current business. I know you have built numerous businesses as a serial entrepreneur, but let's just focus on the current vision. Tell us about Regenrus.
Oh, this is such a fun story, Randy. With my tech company that's still in business at the age of 60 is when I learned I was going to be a nonna, a grandma, for the very first time.
The best job you've ever had.
The very best. I always hear about how good it is to have grandchildren, and it's truth every aspect of that. Oh, I love that. And so when that happened, though, it just made me to take pause in what I was currently doing with my passion and purpose and my marketing tech company, and said, "Oh, what is this world going to look like for Rowan, my first grandson, who's now 4, and future generations?" And with that thought, I was kind of a little saddened by thinking of the future. And so I said, it's up to me to truly make a difference and, find a way so current and future generations have the opportunities and ability to do their passions and their purposes and not be straddled with challenges that may have been done in prior generations. So it was very important when I learned that. I was just thinking of having this grandchild, and what came to me in a vision, as they say, is to create a company that is regenerative, meaning sustainability is good, but you can sustain something that's not good, right? The word sustainability.
Right.
So
right.
It's really important to be more regenerative, leaving everything better than it was. So everything you touch is about making it better, and everything you do should always be generous and caring. So Regenrus is a synergy of being both regenerative and generous.
That's perfect. And so you guys are actually a B Corp.
Yes, we are. So
which
proud.
I feel like if you were anything else but that, it just wouldn't make sense with the whole concept of the Regenrus name. So tell me a little bit more about why a B Corp and what was that process like trying to determine, because you have to go through some hoops to get that designation. So how did you determine that was the right fit for y'all, and what was that process like?
Well, actually, early on, when I was just founding the company in 2017, I had learned about B Corps. At that point, there were only about 2,000 in the world.
And how many in Texas now? There's not.
Oh my gosh, I have to revisit. I think it's 3 or 4.
A few, a
We are the only one in Denton.
That's right.
And very proud and excited about that. Yes.
Shout out.
I'm going to work with others to encourage other companies to, do the due diligence and the work that you need, because it is all about walking the talk and truly living what you're saying you're doing as a company and being a business that's a force for good. So right now, they just crossed over about 5,000 in the world. When we received our certification was just December of 2021, there were high 4,000s. Recognizing that's 0.00002% of the businesses in the world.
That's crazy.
So, if you think of all the businesses, if as a B Corp, you're committed to make sure your impact in everything you do is something that does not negatively impact people, animals, planet. So I knew that had to be the business that I have to be in.
Right.
So I learned about B Corp in 2017. But however, you need a track record. Obviously, you need the track to show what you have been doing and are doing, so that you can be measured and audited. So the process is quite arduous. You do answer 200 questions, and those 200 questions, depending upon your response and the type of company you are, products, services, and so forth, it opens up different questions. And then after you complete your business impact assessment, as it's called, and answer all your questions, then you submit it to B Labs, which is the certifying agency. And that agency takes their time to review everything, and then you have calls with them, and you have to present all your documentation, and then you have to, kind of really validate and verify that you're doing exactly what you're saying you're doing. And it's all around the community involvement, governance, environmental, people, the human side. So you're measuring on everything. And you must have 80 points to qualify and certify. on average, most companies, thousands and thousands that submit an application, come in usually around 50.
Okay.
When we submitted our business impact assessment, we worked with some interns out of college, as well as an agency or consulting firm that helps small businesses. So when I did that, we landed about 106. And we were told,
wow,
I know, can you believe it?
That's incredible. Talk about matching your passion with your purpose. That's how it shows up.
Exactly. If you always do the right thing and take the right steps, no matter what, it's not about the sprint. It's all about that long run. It's a marathon that we're doing. Yeah. So, and when they shared with us that you usually lose some points when you get audited, we were felt good. We're 26 points. We have that margin. We got a few to play. Yeah. So we're okay. And believe it or not, Randy, we came in at 120 after being audited.
Wow. And that's just unheard of. I mean, it sounds
it's in the top in several of in the rankings of community. As you know, we're very advocates and involved in our community and supporting in other businesses. Also very much about working with minority businesses. Women I'm very partial to, obviously, but we love our men. I have a husband and 2 sons.
Yes. And grandsons. We can't leave anybody out.
No.
All about space for anybody at the table. I think that's important. And you touch on a good point that just because we champion women business owners or champion minority-owned businesses doesn't mean that you don't still champion these other arenas. It just means that I feel like we have to be more intentional.
Yes.
Because the journey, I know, has been different for me as a woman business owner. And I can only imagine from your end, I think you probably have a few more stories than I do.
I've just got a few decades on you,
Randy. Just a few more decades. But I feel like the journey's been different for a woman business owner than our counterparts. And so share with us a little bit about what that journey has been like to get from a tech pioneer to now a B Corp. Regenrus is now the business and the B Corp function. It's very different. And so what has that journey been like for you? How'd you get here?
It's been very interesting,
Very predictable, I'm sure.
Oh, not at all. When you look back and you're starting out very young, I knew I loved technology, very, very young. Funny, at the age of 11, I used to go to the Navy base with my dad. He was an officer, and he was, I was putting out his newsletter for him, and I was typing on one of those really old typewriters and key punch cards, and I just love technology. So I'm obviously with a girl that's in technology. Change is not something I fear. I embrace and look forward to it, because stagnancy is not good. Being stagnant and staying the same, because then you end up being obsolete and not needed. Just think of how technology has changed over the last 4 to 5 decades that I've been involved in it. So it's important, really, truly, to be more agile and flexible and seeing what you're doing to grow personally, career, if you're somebody that's working for an employer or your own business. Both of those, you need to be always more visionary and looking for the future instead of just staying mundane in the way that a lot of jobs that you do the same thing every day. And it's, if it's a choice, that's one thing you like, more power to you.
Sure.
It's just not who I am. So I'm all about loving technology. It's very young, as I said. So the 70s, 80s, and 90s, I worked 25 years Department of Defense. So following in Daddy's footsteps, 32 years Navy, I was very proud of America and still am to this day. And, truly wanting to make sure to support our freedom and our rights as Americans. And so I felt I was following in my dad's footsteps. And what happened there was I had a lot of health challenges. So throughout my career as an executive woman, I did reach the point of being at the C-suite, sitting at the table, and helping a company grow to over 400 million in 26 countries. So I feel I navigated this technology all the way through 2000 and learned so much. But I believe every step of that journey was positioning me for Regenrus. If I didn't have that knowledge and experience, I would never have been able to create the company that I'm creating now with Regenrus. And I feel, starting a business in my 30s. I owned a restaurant, Randy, for a little while.
Oh, what kind of? I didn't know this. I feel like I know. I've learned so many more fun facts. What kind of restaurant?
Oh, I had a fun restaurant on a lake. I lived on the lake, so we had boats.
You
I
have,
could
like, 4
drive
lives,
to work
Cindy.
by boat.
I feel like this is one of my dream lives: is to own a restaurant and be able to drive